Good morning, everybody, and thank you for being
Can't
here.
hear you, Rachel.
Woo. All right. Oh my goodness. Wow. Look at all these people here today. We've got 36 people on the call. This is amazing. I'm so excited. I feel giddy and nervous, like excited and nervous at the same time. Woo. It's good to have water. It's good to have liquid when you drink, when you learn, because your neurons are actually as you're remembering things, they're getting longer, and it takes water to actually create those connections. So it is really, when they say drink water when you're in class, it's a good idea. And so mine has lemon water in it. I actually have lime in this water, which is more hydrating than anything. In fact, if your water is boiled, or if there's electricity that touches your water, it actually kills the living life force. It actually kills a certain quality of the water that you need. And so a lot of people will drink warm lemon water in the morning, and that is actually not hydrating if it's been boiled. So you want to make sure it's raw water, raw water, raw water, raw water, raw foods. I'm not a raw foodist, but I appreciate raw foods. It's definitely something I'm interested in. So my goodness, let me just go on gallery view here for a second and just see you all. Good morning, Bethany. Good to see you. Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Racy, who's one of our speakers today. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. Good morning, Zaya. Kimberly, and Kimberly's team is here today. All these health coaches are here today. Good morning, Hinda. It's so great to see some of you who I haven't seen for a while. Kahina, Marie, thank you for being on video. Allison, good morning to all of you. Two Bethanies, Bethany and Bethany, Bethany squared. Tara Shea, oh, Gleneth and Dan, glad to see the guys are on. There's much to learn here. This applies to you guys too. You know, this information really applies to everybody. There's a lot of interesting history about menopause, which is the subject for today. And I am your host, Rachel Balansat. I am a regenerative health practitioner. I do clinical iridology, and I also have a background as an Ayurvedic practitioner. I have aligned and partnered with a company called Purium, which is an amazing superfoods company. I've vetted their products, and I really love to use it with my clients. And we're going to share some really, really incredible stories today. You're going to hear some amazing stories of recovery, people who've completely transformed their health, people who've struggled with menopause and then have found relief for their symptoms. And it's going to be an amazing, juicy call. And I try to keep it short, but often the question and answer will go long. And so even though we'll probably talk for like about maybe 30 minutes on this topic and like share a little bit about the protocols that can help you if you are either perimenopausal, or you're going through menopause, or if you're postmenopausal, or if you are gonna have menopause someday, or if you have a womb, you know, all of you, this counts. And even like I said, this is going to count for the guys too. And even if you don't have a womb, there is definitely a lot of information here that's going to be very interesting. So yes, you can record. Gleneth is recording too. Great. So I just ask that if you have questions, you save them to the end or put them in the chat. And then at the end, when we do Q&A, just make sure you're raising your hands, because it can get squirrely with a lot of people. But I do love participation. I'd love to see your experiences in the chat. If you relate to things I'm saying, share that in the chat. Let us know what, and you can even start right now by sharing like where you are with menopause, what your thoughts are about it now, if you're struggling with menopause, if it's something that you feel like anxious about or nervous about or embarrassed about. Some people feel self-conscious about it. Sometimes, like, I'm 50, right? So I'm in the quote unquote midlife, but quite honestly, my plan is to eat really, really healthy for the rest of my life and actually live a lot longer than 100. So I don't think midlife for me is going to be until 75. So to me, midlife is like 75. And I want you all to think that way too, because it's never too late to reverse anything. It's never too late to get healthy. Okay, we can regenerate cells. I'm a regenerative health practitioner, so we regenerate cells, right? We detox and nourish, and we're all about reversing aging. And so I like to always begin with, aging is not what we think it is. We think like, oh, I'm getting old, and so now I'm struggling and I'm suffering, I'm sick. But no, it's not age. It's just accumulation of toxins and all the viral loads and all those things over time. All right, this is accumulation over time. It's not aging. Okay, we were meant to live a long time. There are people who have lived 200 years. There are people who have lived 400 years. They're like in the ancient scriptures, but it is possible. Now, some people may say, why would I want to live that long? Well, because it's possible to actually feel good that long. It's actually possible to feel good even up to the moment that you die. It's possible. I read a quote yesterday. It said, oh shoot, I wish I could remember. It was a Dante quote. Maybe someone knows it, but something around the effects of, we aren't gonna die to the end. So why die in the middle? Something to that effect. Okay, so you guys, let's think about longevity on this call. And this topic of menopause is so interesting because it is very it's like taboo for a lot of women. Just feel like self-conscious about it. It's sort of like this meaning of like, oh, the change of life, we're gonna stop having our period. And there's sometimes sadness that comes along with that, some grief that comes along with that, like, oh my gosh, like, maybe I don't feel like a woman so much anymore. I don't feel like I'm, youthful, or people will accept me, or that, or some people think like, oh, my libido is going to go down, and life it's going to be hard. So like, what are your thoughts about menopause? Let's like look in the chat here and just see like what do people actually think menopause is, and what do they think about it? Because I'm here to bust some myths today, but I really want to see where people are at. And this is great. I work as a birth doula, care practitioner, and help women in childbearing years. It is so important to take care of our health in these years so we can have a vibrant and healthy menopause experience. Hallelujah. Yes. Thank you so much. Grace here, 52, and navigating the passage of menopause. I'm certified in holistic midwifery and have worked with women's passages for many decades. Menopause is rocking me in all ways, and my focus is supporting my clients in midlife health and reimagining menopause and midlife. April here, I've been struggling with it for 7 years, sadly started at 35 with my arm implant birth control. All right, so these are some things that I'll do my best to address all these different there's different people's experiences with it, different nuances. So there's Anne, who's 49, still bleeding regularly. Perimenopause, Isabel, I experienced perimenopause at 38 because of meds I got for Crohn's. I reversed everything, and perimenopause, menopause, and Crohn's. Yes, Isabel, fantastic. Okay, this is great. All right, awesome. Thank you all for sharing. I'm 41, and my doctor told me to start preparing for menopause as if it was a bad, negative thing. Yeah, as if it was a bad, negative thing, right? It is really not, truly. And honestly, this is one of the things that I wanted to share with you, is that prior to the 1950s, menopause was something people looked forward to because it gave them energy. Because they would get energy and revert and slow down the aging process. That's what menopause meant, was now the aging process can slow down. People can look forward to energy and higher libidos. Prior to 1950s, that's what people thought about menopause. What happened? What changed along the way? Oh my gosh, we can go into that. I'm trying to decide whether I want to have our speakers jump on, or I'm going to share this really quick. All right, there's so much history. Stress, toxins. Yes, me too. And they are so gentle and short for the first time since 10, I'm 45. Since I'm 10, I'm 45. That's awesome, Isabel. Our diet, stress, toxins. Yes, I wish I'd known more about what to expect. I had bad mood swings and I had got incontinence. Yes, and I got incontinence. Yes, yay for higher sex drive. All right. Menopause is a time when the sex drive can actually go up, contrary to popular belief. All right. What gets in the way? Yes, toxins and stress are definitely part of it. So what's really interesting is that menopause is a progression of the Epstein-Barr virus. Okay. If you got Epstein-Barr when you were little, it will go through phases, and then it takes about 40 years to ripen into what the symptoms are with menopause. Night sweats, hot flashes, headaches, irritability, depression, forgetfulness, insomnia, brain fog. All these things are like a progression of the virus. Now, prior to the 1950s, the Epstein-Barr virus wasn't really a thing. This is something that suddenly, as people were taking antibiotics, which in the 1928, penicillin was developed, and penicillin has, been helpful and saved many lives. And it's also caused viruses to mutate, and these different antiviral medications have actually caused a proliferation of superviruses. And Epstein virus is one of them. So this is why people experience menopausal symptoms at different times. Some people will experience it when they stop bleeding. Some people will experience it years before they stop bleeding. Some people will experience years after they stop bleeding. But for some reason, it's all associated with missing your period. For some reason, it's all associated with missing your period. That's weird. Why would they just clump all of those symptoms with missing your period and then just call it, oh, this is menopause? So in the 1940s, there was fallout, right? There was radioactive fallout from World War II. There was also the creation of DDT, which was a toxic chemical that began to be used in food. It started to be sprayed on everything. This like pesticide, this toxin. It was considered this great thing. In fact, my mom on her dinner table, they used it like sugar. It was presented as a food. Like this white powder that you don't have on your table, like you would have like salt, and just add this little thing like nutritional yeast to your food. Okay, this was a toxin that was not just well accepted, but it was amazingly promoted. So this is what was happening prior. So there was a sudden accumulation of toxins that was starting to make people sick, plus the virus expanding and growing. So this is the history of accumulation of toxic load and the viral expansion. And then now women are getting really sick, and it's being associated with perimenopause. There's something else that happened prior to that, which was years before, was that there was something called quicksilver that was used to treat these mystery illnesses. And it had quicksilver, means mercury water. I'll need someone to help me with muting, just because I can hear a few things. So mercury water was also something prescribed for hysteria. Women's weird hormonal issues. Hormone replacement therapy became popular. Hormone replacement therapy, these were all based on theories of the hormones changing, rather than recognizing that it was a viral load that was blossoming. I don't know a better word than blossoming, but exploding, I guess. Okay. So hormone treatment and birth control, that's a good question. Was the time of hormone treatment and birth control? I'm not sure when birth control was developed. Maybe somebody knows that and could put that in the chat. But it is a type of hormone replacement therapy. It is changing the hormones. So what else actually impacts the hormones? So the hormones are impacted by stress. We have an adrenaline release, we have a cortisol release. And adrenaline is increased by stress. It's also increased by fats. Now I'm talking about like oils have a lot of fat in them. Avocado does not. So let's like make sure that we're not like just clumping all fats together. Okay, animal products, you can't separate the protein from the fats in animal products. So there's a lot of fat in animal products. And what happens is these are complex bonds. These are complex bonds, and it's hard to break these bonds without a release of adrenaline. Okay, norepinephrine, steroidal hormones, these things need to kick in and break apart those bonds. And those things, adrenaline also feeds Epstein-Barr virus. It feeds pathogens. So this is why it's important not to cook with oils. It's important not to add oil to your food. It's important to limit yourself. Yes, have tahini. Tahini is actually really great, but small quantities, right? Sometimes I like a spoonful of almond butter on my banana, right? But like we want to keep our fat, even whether it's nuts or it's any kind of fats, you really, really don't want to be putting fats on food. The healthiest fat is coconut oil or avocados, but even that in limitation. And actually Purium makes the best coconut oil. We make one called Tropic Oil, and it's totally pure, organic. It's like the healthiest, best that you can get. Yes, and sunflower oil has become really popular, and that is a processed oil, which is not a solution to canola oil, which is not organic. It has glyphosate and it's toxic. So really, it is best to just get your fats naturally from things like avocado and a few nuts. Okay, so yes, adrenaline, stress. People will suddenly develop Epstein-Barr virus or menopausal symptoms after having an extreme stress in their life. Maybe they have like a really, really challenging breakup or divorce. Maybe they get in a car accident. Maybe they lose their house. Maybe they lose a bunch of money. Maybe they get in a car accident. Maybe they have some kind of like really big phenomenon in their life that like causes a bunch of stress and dumps a bunch of hormones. And then suddenly that virus is eating all that adrenaline up, and it starts proliferating. Another thing that these hormones live on is metals. So we've got the mercury. By the way, our great-great-grandmothers, who it's not their fault, they were drinking mercury water. But guess what? Metals are passed through the womb, right? So where do we get those metals? Oh, well, my grandmother had metals. Oh, well, my great-great-great-great-grandmother was drinking quicksilver. Well, that went on to my mom. Well, guess what? My mom was also living in an environment growing up with lead pipes. So she had lead toxicity. Well, then I was born. So now I've got some mercury and I've got some lead. And then also I became a swimmer. So now I'm like exposed to chlorine, right? So like all the different toxins, the ways we accumulate toxins, it's not your fault. It's not our fault. And you can eliminate them. That is the beauty, is that you can eliminate toxins. One of the people who I first introduced to the protocol that got me well, by the way, I had Hashimoto's. Oh, I forgot to say in the connection between Hashimoto's and menopause. So Hashimoto's is actually one of the stages of the Epstein-Barr virus before menopause. It's actually a stage. It's like stage 3 of the Epstein-Barr virus. And even before that, it could be eczema. It could show up as eczema or rash. You could have like eczema psoriasis, some kind of skin rash. That's another way that the Epstein-Barr virus can express itself. Early on in life, it could be mononucleosis. So it can go through these progressive stages. If you've ever had any of these things, you might have seen some of these stages in your own life. Doesn't mean you've had them all. Doesn't mean you've like expressed itself to you, because the kind of metals you have determine how that gets expressed. Could be copper. That's another thing, is now suddenly copper is like this all the rage, having a copper vessel. If you're drinking out of a copper flask, you're increasing the metals in your body. That copper, you know, it's like patinas, and then it gets kind of rusty, and then like now you're drinking copper, and that's not good either, especially if you have methylation issues. If you have methylation issues, you probably have a copper toxicity. So Barry says, oh my God, I have huge amount of Epstein-Barr virus in blood tests and have had night sweats since 35 and hot flashes since 50. Yes. So hot flashes are when the liver starts to heat up to kill the virus. Right? Wow. Hot flashes are when your liver has got like 7,000 functions, and one of them is to kill viruses. Right? So it's like heating up, and it's just like, let's go to town. It's like full of sludge and toxicity, and it's like trying to do its job. So suddenly we have hot flashes. Yes. So Epstein-Barr is one of the things that this protocol can take down. Thank you very much, Anne, for pointing that out. That is absolutely true. So the protocol that I've adopted and the people you're going to hear from have adopted is this 90-day protocol that was created by Purium, which is the first thing I use with my clients. And it has barley green juice powder, which kills the viral load. It has spirulina, which removes metals. It has adaptogens like eleuthero root and rhodiola that actually help balance. They're adaptogens that helps balance hormones. Okay, if your hormones are too high, it'll help lower them. If your hormones are too low, it'll help raise them. It has maca, which also helps with hormonal balance. And then, of course, we need to remove glyphosate. And so the biomedic, which is in this protocol, removes glyphosate, which is the herbicide. It's like DDT, right? It is the DDT of our day. It's in everything. It's in the air we breathe. You can't cook it out. You can't wash it off your foods. It goes into the roots and goes up into the plant. All genetically modified plants are sprayed with glyphosate. If you're not eating organic, you're consuming glyphosate. And I know I don't eat organic 100% of the time. I eat at restaurants. Hello, no matter how organic I eat at home, I'm still going to indulge once in a while. I'm going to eat other places where it's not organic. Okay. So all these things that are part of our protocol have something in it. The super meal shake has, which is part of the protocol, also has dulse in it. Dulse removes radiation and metals. All seaweed does. All seaweed removes radiation and metals. I highly, highly encourage people to increase their seaweed intake. Even if the seaweed was grown, even if this, here's my reminder to actually drink my green drink. Even if the seaweed was grown in an area where there's metals, like Fukushima, where there's radiation, it actually still will remove metals from your body. It is an intelligent food like mushrooms, which is another adaptogen that's in the super meal that actually, this is why the super meal is my favorite drink of all of everything that Purium has to offer, because that also is adaptogenic and helps balance the hormones. It also will, there's an anti-tumor mushroom in there. I forgot the name of it. It'll come to me later. So let me take a break and let's hear from some people who've actually done this protocol, who've experienced menopausal symptoms, who've had some relief, and who are maybe still even working on their menopause. And you know, it takes time. You have to remember, it took time to accumulate. It doesn't go away overnight, but a lot of relief can happen. So I'd love to open it up to Grace first before Tanya. And then let's have you go ahead and share, Gracie. I'm going to unpin myself, or I'm going to pin you. And there you are. There's my girl.
Awesome.
Gracie, one of my besties, one of my best friends. She's a midwife, doula, just an amazing coach overall. She also has the Carmel Mystery School. So she has a lot to offer and share. So thank you for coming.
You're welcome. I just want to set my phone up so I can also record this. So, wow, Rachel, that was amazing. And thank you. Rachel, as she said, is one of my nearest and dearest for, a couple of decades now. And one of the things that I have appreciated so much about not only our friendship, but our connection in Purium is really witnessing you taking health to the next level, not only yours, but learning more and always investing in information and just becoming someone who really is a pinnacle of health in your community. And, through Rachel doing her own healing journey and sharing with all the people that she literally has helped to transform multiple thousands of lives. And that is one of the beautiful things that we do when we share our stories and we share our humanness in, these different passages and things that we work with. I was actually, another thing that I do is social media content creation for clients. And I was working with a woman yesterday who is she studies anthroposophic medicine, and she treats her clients through that lens. And as she was speaking about it and I was recording her, one of the pieces that she talked about is using our illnesses, like in anthroposophic medicine, an illness really is an opportunity for growth. So we grow through our illnesses, we grow through our struggles. And I like the way that Purium has brought so many people together. And when we get linked into these superfoods and we get on this healthy way of being, and our vibration starts to increase, and we're seeing other people in the community and witnessing their stories, it really creates this amplification and uplift of health. So I'll just say that. But regarding menopause, I am 52. I found Purium when I was 2 years postpartum. Rachel and Anne are both dear friends of mine, and they were going through the Purium protocol and sharing it. At that time, we did a 10-day cleanse, and they were sharing their journey on social media. And I reached out and said, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I know that I need some help. I was 2 years postpartum, very sick in a lot of different ways. I had postpartum depression. I had hypothyroidism, borderlining Hashimoto's, kind of like, I'm having a menopause moment right now, losing my train of thought, but I needed a lot of support. And I had my daughter at the age of 42. So I had her much later, and I had wanted to be a mom my entire life. And then, postpartum really threw me for a loop. And I would hear my daughter when she was asking to play, like just saying over and over again, I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy. So long story short, I really got my feet back under me with Purium. And then I came into this next passage of menopause. So being certified in holistic midwifery, I really appreciate the way that our passages have I approach things from the wise woman traditions. And one of the first things is that we let the body and we let the natural processes do what they need to do, rather than medicating, rather than surgery. We really want to try to infuse things from a natural perspective. And so nutrition is such a beautiful way, such a beautiful place to help people start to reimagine what this midlife passage, we always talk about this midlife crisis, right? But our midlife is a passage just like anything else, and menopause is a part of that. What my journey, I feel like I'm kind of going all over because it's been a big journey for me, and I have a lot of passion for how we frame what it is that we're going through. I think that there has been a lot of shame around menopause. Women tend in the eye of the mainstream to have more value when they are of childbearing capacity, when they're, have this standard of beauty and youth that is in the mainstream. And there can just be a lot of things to navigate in terms of our mental capacity and really standing in our fortitude of who we are and what we have to offer. So Purium has helped me not only, like when I started through Purium in menopause, I I had taken a break. And when I came back and started doing the protocols more seriously again after about a year and a half, my hot flashes went away. My night sweats went away. I was having incredible joint pain and plantar fasciitis. I could barely walk. And Rachel said, I really just feel like if you do a 10-day, you're going to be able to take care of all of that. And sure enough, about 8 days into the 10-day portion of my 90-day, I was walking again and dancing again and able to get out of bed and walk to the bathroom without pain. So I'll kind of sum it up by saying, thank you, Rachel, for approaching it from this perspective of, menopause being an accumulation of the Epstein-Barr virus. I had heard that from you prior, but not really dropped into it. And my whole piece right now is just like really reimagining what it could be. Midge and Gwyneth and I had a conversation a few days ago, and one of the things Midge said, and if you don't mind me sharing, I think Midge is like 75, she's in her 70s, and she was saying, like, I didn't know when I was your age, I didn't know at 50 that I could really make decisions at that point in midlife that would put me on track for a more healthy, like, we still have so much time ahead of us, and the decisions that we make right now really matter. And the reason in this kind of 40 to 60 corridor that so many people have chronic illnesses, cancers, disease, it's because of that accumulation that Rachel talked about. We have a lifetime of habits and patterns that are well in place. It's not just our food, it's our relationships, it's the media that we intake, it is our mental state. And so we do reach this apex where all of that has to find a way to be processed. And if we're not detoxing and we're not taking care of it ourselves, then our body has to try to do all the work of releasing that buildup through other means. So Purium is such a wonderful gift, this protocol, to help support the body to actually do its healing process and to break down in ways that make sense. Like, Dave is such an incredible formulator that he actually understands how the systems of the body work together and how we can formulate things that light up those systems in the way that they need to be to all work in coherence. So, wow, I feel like I just talked a whole bunch, and I hope I gave some value. And this subject is very, very near and dear to me. And if you're not following me on social media, please do, and reach out to me and let me know that you are on here. And I would love to be engaged more intimately in this conversation. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Grace. That was beautiful. That was such a sweet download. Really, really appreciate you so much. Thank you. It's really great to hear how you've transformed your health and your life, and especially having a baby at 42. I think that's really inspiring. And they say that actually, like in the world that I live in regenerative health, that like it's very common that if you're actually staying detoxed and nourished, that you actually won't go through menopause until your 60s, and or even beyond, and that it doesn't have to have any symptoms. We can have that change of life, and rather than the symptoms being exhausting and debilitating and all that stuff, that actually you can start to feel, like I said before, have your libido go up, feel more energy, because now your body is not, going through so many hormonal fluctuations. So it's actually the slowing down of the aging process. How cool is that? So we are going to go, I will talk about the products and what the protocol actually is. You will have a chance to have like a 25% off discount with whoever invited you to this call. But I wanted to invite Tanya to share her story as well. She's another dear friend of mine, lives down the block. And I watched her just be exhausted. And she's this like amazing, she's just like very into her body. She's like embodied. She does rebounding. She has a whole rebounding course, and she's just phenomenal. And so I watched her struggle Tanya, after you had your have your son, and you've been really, really one of those people who's inspired me in your transformation and seeing you really like just claim your health back. So please share with us your experience.
Thanks, Rachel. Thanks to Rachel. Thank you. Thanks to Rachel, because I found this protocol. And Grace, thank you so much. You're behind me in the process a little, and it's really inspiring to hear you talk about it with so much knowledge. I'm 53. I'll be 54 in May. And I've been a fitness and nutrition coach for over 20 years and was the poster child for health in all circles of my life for years and years. Ate all the things. I mean, I ate a pretty balanced, I ate things in moderation, but I really was plant-based for a long time. I did the green smoothies every day, did the supplements, and was teaching other people how to stay healthy and lose weight and all that. And lived a pretty stress-free life. And then at 46, I became a mother. And I believe that the stress, the unprecedented stress of that, and Rachel talked a little bit about stress and cortisol and all of that. But what happened for me was, as a single mother, the stress of parenthood was something I hit my body. I just never experienced that level of stress. For whatever reason, I experienced it in a really stressful way. Doesn't have to be true for everybody else, but I did. And it kicked I had sort of had some early menopause symptoms, some perimenopause symptoms, and it just kicked it into high gear. The stress did. I also still at that point ate a pretty high fat diet. I was on a high protein, high fat diet for a long time. And it just blew me into menopause. I had like a full health crisis. There was no other way to say it. As I said, I'd been so healthy and vibrant and, very comfortable in that world. I never had injuries. I looked and felt great. It was just my whole persona. And nobody was talking about menopause, or I wasn't in the circles where people were talking menopause. I'm sure somebody was talking about it, but I was healthy. Nobody, people weren't saying. I just wish I had known what to expect more, so that as things start to happen, you're already building in some tools. But so the unprecedented stress, and I think the high fat diet, and the accumulation, right, at 46, 47, 48, I'm now midlife, quote unquote. And so I've had this accumulation of just being a human walking around in the world. I found myself so depleted and having, to me, textbook terrible menopausal symptoms, as bad as it could get, like so depleted, so tired. I at first lost a ton of weight, which I didn't have to lose, and then I gained all this weight, and hot flashes, like killing me, hot flashes. I was so miserable. So I reached out to, and I was doing all the things in my toolbox, right? All the things the things I knew how to do to stay healthy. And so I reached out to this amazing PhD homeopathic dietitian who I'd worked with years before, and she helped me. The first thing she said to do was a liver cleanse. And at this point, this is now 7 years ago, though I was in the fitness world, I wasn't really in like the cleansing world. And what we determined with her help is ultimately I was totally malnourished, despite the fact that I'd been eating as a health coach. I was totally malnourished, and obviously and stressed beyond, right? So that combination was wreaking havoc on my body. And so I did this doctor guided liver cleanse with her. I started eating, we just upped my mineral intake through foods. And with her guidance, she taught me that, the sluggish liver that Rachel was talking about, when your liver by 50 years old or so, this accumulation of toxins, for whatever reason your liver isn't functioning right, which mine was not, you're not absorbing, you're not detoxing properly, and the liver and the gut are so connected that I was not absorbing the nutrients of those green shakes I was eating, and on and on and on. I was just a hot mess. So, so it helped. It helped a little bit. With her help, my skin got better because I started aging really quickly. For me, what was happening is my skin, I looked sallow and aged, and my skin looked terrible, and I was just like, this is crazy. So all of that was just an indication of malnourishment, right? So I wasn't getting the minerals I needed, and and even the fat I was eating wasn't being accumulated in a way that was supporting my skin health and all of that kind of stuff. So the other thing about a sluggish liver that she taught me was that your hormones, and Rachel knows this, maybe she talked about it at the beginning, but your hormones, your liver detoxes everything. And so when there's this huge hormonal shift happening, there's the need for what's called this hormone cascade that happens each day. Your body expresses all these hormones through the liver, partially, and that's the way it's supposed to work. Well, when the liver's not working properly, that's kind of like this backup, and that creates also the hot flashes. And that's why mine were so severe. So even though I looked and felt fine and before all the hormone changes, we determined that basically I was malnourished. My liver wasn't functioning, my gut, and I had a gut of steel. I had no symptoms of gut health. Like, I was fine, but clearly something was going on. So I got better, a little bit better. So my skin definitely got better right away. And I started to feel like a little bit more, I was sleeping maybe a little bit better, but I still couldn't lose this weight that I had. And I was exhausted. I was absolutely exhausted and still depleted. And I don't know, I worked with her for a couple of years. And then I remembered Rachel's story. And so I reached out to her and I said, I need your help. I'm working with this amazing woman, but still I'm so depleted and I want to lose this weight. I was a fitness coach. I had a studio. I had a certain image I wanted to uphold, and I just couldn't lose the weight. So entered Purium, and I'll cut to the chase. Within 10 days, I kid you not, my energy was like through the roof, skyrocketing energy. Like, I felt completely online again, back to my normal self. It was unbelievable. And I had a toddler at that time who was not sleeping still. My kiddo didn't sleep through the night until he was 5. And so we were up sometimes 3-4 hours a night. And, but I was online again. It was amazing. And then within 30 days, the color came back into my face. I remember one day looking in the mirror and like saying to myself, literally, like, oh my God, there you are. My eyes were brighter, my skin, I looked like myself again. And the weight was just secondary thought, but it just came off. Like, I wasn't even thinking about it, but the weight just came off. So, in a couple of words, it gave me my life back. This protocol gave me my life back, despite the fact that I'd already been doing all this stuff. I had a ton of knowledge. But I was totally depleted and out of balance. And it was this protocol that gave me all of that back. That was 4 years ago. I would say that within, like I said, in those 30 days, I became much, much better. It was about a little bit less than maybe 9 months or so before I was totally symptom free. So it takes a while sometimes, you guys. And I stayed on this protocol for that whole time. And I do the daily core 4 still. I've been totally symptom free for 3 years. So, and I don't eat perfectly, but I will tell you, as soon as I start eating way too much fat, especially unhealthy fats and sugar, the hot flashes, my symptom is the hot flashes, they come right back within 30 minutes or an hour. It's so related. So, just keeping aware of your fats, as Rachel was talking about, and maintaining a really high level of nutrient dense foods to keep your gut and your liver going changed my life. The other really cool thing was that at 50 years old, about a year later, I had the strongest and most amazing hair of my life. I had never had great hair. And at 50 years old, it was like, I had this like mane of hair. It was unbelievable. My hairdresser was like, what the hell? I've been going to her for like 20 years. I was like, I know. So that was really fun. Anyway, I can't say enough about it. And this education is so incredibly important. I'm so glad there's this many people here, because what we're talking about, everybody needs to know. Women don't have to suffer the way they're suffering. There are some easier solutions, and this is a solution. And unfortunately, it's just not broadly known and talked about. And one last thing I'll say is that I've learned in this process that if your body is not primed, meaning baseline healthy, what we're talking about, the hormone replacement therapy might not even work so all that kind of stuff can't even really work optimally if the baseline stuff isn't there. So of course, women first, they go and they do the replacement therapy. And I have no judgment about that, but it often doesn't work for people. Like it didn't for my mother. My mom was me times 10. And I remember her going through menopause. Well, she went to do bioidenticals and she had a horrible experience because she was totally unhealthy, depleted. So get yourself online first. And if for some reason, 9 months later, if you do the 90-day protocol, then look for the more Western tools. But the place to start is with your nutrition, which is the good news. So anyway, happy to share my story. I hope it inspires other people. I'm so glad to be back in my right body again. Thanks, Rach.
Thank you, Tanya. That was really, really powerful. What an amazing story. You're just such an inspiration. And you got a lot of love in the comments, so go check those out. Yes, the hormone replacement therapy again is it's a Band-Aid. And it's because they're not addressing the root cause of why the hormones are out of balance in the first place. And so again, things that cause hormones to go out of balance, adding oils to your food, cooking with oils, adding oils to your salads, stress, not getting enough sleep, all the viral loads, the metals, all these things. So basically, some things to add. So we'll go over the 90-day protocol for anybody who doesn't know about it. We'll go over it briefly. But the very specific protocol for menopause is you also want to add in the Purium spirulina, 2 teaspoons. You want to add in a tablespoon of the barley green juice. So add these to your shakes once a day. Okay, 2 teaspoons of spirulina, 1 tablespoon of the barley green juice. There's other things that I can recommend also from Vimergy.com, the B12, the B12 there, because it's adenocobalamin and oh my God, my brain's forgetting the other one. But anyway, it's got the 2 kinds. And also from Vimergy.com, as well as I would do our zinc aid. I would add that in. I would do the ULT plus immune pack. And then also I would add in the white American ginseng, and also ashwagandha, which we don't have yet in our products, but I would also say like ashwagandha. So 2 dropperfuls of ashwagandha tincture, not made in alcohol. I think I'm hoping they sell it on Vimergy.com. I like Vimergy because they don't have alcohol in their products. And so that's important. So the ULT protocol just stands for the ultimate lifestyle transformation. And I like to again say this is a lifestyle transformation. Okay, we're going to go to Q&A at the end of all that. So if you have very specific questions for yourself, even if they're not related to menopause, hang tight till after that. But I am going to briefly go over the ultimate lifestyle transformation. And it is called a lifestyle transformation because it's designed to help you change your lifestyle. It's designed to help you get into the healthy habits that you know are going to help you. And it's going to help get rid of the 2 major obstacles. Everyone knows this, right? What are the 2 major obstacles? People are afraid to do this because number 1, they're afraid, I can't change my cravings. Oh, I've got these cravings. I can't do it. And number 2, oh, I got these habits. I can't change my habits. So don't worry. I say, don't worry about taking stuff out. Just add the good stuff in. All right. Add the nutrition in that's going to start removing the metals. That's going to start detoxing and nourishing your body. That's going to give you the building blocks and foundations for life. Another one is the ionic element. Some people, I saw Anne mention CMOS. Ionic elements has our trace minerals. And so this is one of Purium's wonderful products that's great for everybody. That also helps reduce metals. That also helps the body push metals out. So I would add in the ionic elements as well. So I'll go ahead and share my screen real quick. Let me just show you guys really quickly what the ULT looks like on the website. And I am just pulling it up. Sorry, I got all these like different controls in the way while I'm trying to navigate my screen here. But it's the ULT lifestyle. Hold on, coming back. Here we go. Okay, sharing my screen. And again, like I said, you can do your this is like an overall lifestyle transformation, and so this is going to be helpful. Anyone who invited you to the call can give you like a 25% off gift card on the superfoods. So here's what I recommend to all my clients. First, it's like let's try this, and then whatever's left afterwards, we'll continue. We'll go deeper. Okay, but the ultimate lifestyle transformation. This is ultlifestyle.com, and you're going to use the gift code to get the 25% off from whoever invited you. So the ULT is the basic pack. Okay, it's that. And so this one is $12 a day. It gives you 2 meals a day. And each of those, it gives you for $6, you get a meal plus all your supplements twice a day with this pack. But these are the greens. This has spirulina and barley green juice in it. I suggest you add more into it. So you're not doing just these shakes, but adds more spirulina and barley green juice. But it does have spirulina and barley green juice. If you're on a budget, just do this. And this will totally make a difference in your life. The Biomedic removes glyphosate. This is the toxin Roundup. It's the thing that I said, it's like DDT, right? This is the stuff we got to eliminate. Even though DDT is gone, we now have glyphosate. So there's always something to replace the last bad thing. But this will remove 75% in 6 weeks, according to studies, double-blind studies. They show that 74.5% actually of glyphosate is reduced in 6 weeks, as well as CRP, C-reductive protein, is reduced. The apothecary is amazing. This helps with deep sleep. This helps with balancing hormones. Okay, this helps balance stress hormones, helps you sleep deeply, regulate your nervous system. This stuff has the highest antioxidants of any fruit on the planet. It's anti-aging, anti-free radicals. It's just fantastic. I love it. I drink it every night. The super aminos over here is your plant-based protein. That way you can have protein without the fats, okay? So that your body can have the protein, it can have a break, and then your liver can start to cleanse, okay? So your liver can actually have a break from all those fats and start to do its job. This will help, again, with like reducing night sweats and things like that, because it'll be helping clean the liver of the fat. And then, of course, also the greens are going to help kill off the pathogen, kill off the viral load. The super cleanser herbs over here are great for clearing the gut. This is going to help kill parasites. This is going to help you actually clean out the gut so you can absorb more nutrients. The Biomedic does that too. Together, these two things are really amazing. And whoever shares this with you can like kind of walk you through the whole protocol. But this is just 1 month, all right? This is the first 30 days, and it's this is 60 meals. Okay, this is 2 meals a day for 30 days. So this is very likely to save most of you money, unless you're on food stamps, in which case, if you're needing help, financial support, just talk to the person who invited you, because we can work with you and figure out how to make this work for you. But this, for most people, this is going to save you money. This is saved me about $300 my first month, and so this is something that I highly recommend as a way to have ease. You'll have a break from cooking, a break from the kitchen. You still get to eat fruits and vegetables and all the good stuff. You can have sweet potatoes and potatoes. You can like enjoy all the good things. Brown rice, quinoa, these are the things, and oatmeal, like all these things you can still enjoy. And there's lots of different herbs. I also have a couple different cooking classes that really explains everything, so that you can really understand how to eat and enjoy food continuously, so you're not feeling deprived, because this isn't about deprivation. So the first month, you're basically getting 25% off of the retail value. So the retail value was $480, you get it for $360. Okay, and again, that's like $12 a day. That's for that pack. I actually recommend, if you can go upgrade to the immune. This one just has a zinc aid, which is $35 more. Okay, so the zinc aid is amazing. This has vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin D, and vitamin E in it, and the zinc kills the virus as well. So this is really also great for supporting your body with recovering from COVID, or even helping your body's immune system to even like help ward it off in the first place. So all the core benefits are right there. You can customize it over here. You can customize it where it says, would you like to customize this? You can click that. And it's really amazing. You can throw in that super meal shake I was saying. This is the one I recommend, the super meal. I recommend this to everyone that you get at least two. There's a vanilla chai and original flavor. The other two could be power shakes. But you know, these are the ones that I recommend specifically for recovering from menopause. You could do all super meal if you want, but this is like literally the adaptogen pack. Like this is going to help you with balancing those hormones so they come back online for all the different reasons we mentioned. So that's it about that. I will stop there, and you know, you can talk to, you know, whoever invited you if you want to talk more about that. But I'm definitely ready to open it up for questions and answers at this point. Thank you for anybody. If you have to hop off, I know it's been a minute. We've been on for a while, and hopefully that was useful information for you. But I am going to go ahead and open it into Q&A. So go ahead and throw it in the chat or raise your hand, and let's see what you got. I hope maybe I went over all of it. Okay, we've got two participants raising their hand. Let me see. Oh, Kimberly. Hi, love.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you so much for this amazing call, and Miss Grace and all the friends, and not seeing was it Terry? Sorry. What was the last
Terry?
friend?
Oh, no, sorry. Tanya.
Tanya, sorry. Tanya, amazing. This is super helpful. And I'm just curious what you ladies say with friends that have a hysterectomy and how to support that, if there's anything different.
So there's different reasons people have hysterectomies, but usually what causes a hysterectomy in the first place is maybe they had endometriosis, or maybe they had cancer or something where they had to remove that to save their lives, which is a good idea sometimes. But definitely, like, those are still based in a viral load. So it's not necessarily, again, it's even a surgery is not addressing the root cause. So what caused them to have that hysterectomy in the first place? You still want to deal with removing the viruses and the pathogens and the metals and the things that cause that in the first place. They're all related. Pretty much like every illness is rooted in some combination of all the things I mentioned: the metals, the pathogens, the adrenaline, the fats, and eggs is the number one most important food to remove. Okay, so eggs is like super, super, super important to remove. And as plant-based as you can possibly go. You even want to avoid, you know, now pretty much all fish except for wild salmon, and pretty much all animal products all have metal in it now, because of the farming practices, the toxins in the soil, as well as the toxins in the ocean. So it's really hard to avoid, but it is really important to go as plant-based as possible for as long as you can. And plastic, not to mention the plastic. And thankfully, our products are in plastic-free packaging, right? So we're so blessed to have these products in, they're made from hemp and bamboo. And just like we're part of the Plastic-Free Alliance now. And so all that. Okay, great. Bethany?
Hi. Thank you so much for this call. I'm kind of shy, so I'll just ask, what about cold flashes, and how does anemia affect menopause?
So, well, anemia, how does anemia affect menopause? I mean, it's sort of like a result of the same thing. It's still like, you know, our system is off balance. But one thing I'll say is that the tart cherry juice is incredible for anemia, and so is spirulina. And I have been on these products now for 9 years, plant-based, right? These products actually made me vegan, because I was like, I don't even need animal products anymore. I thought I needed them. And now I'm no longer anemic. My blood work is normal. So that's what I would suggest adding in.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you. And the other Bethany.
Hello, Rachel. Thank you so much. So I am, I actually have bioidenticals that are waiting for me at the pharmacy right now. And I've been off of them for a couple weeks because I ran out and I needed to get my prescription refilled. and my hot flashes have come back. I've been on the protocol, the ULT, for the past 6 months. And I'm noticing, that they are coming back. They're not as bad, but, waking up a little damp in the morning with the hot flashes at night. And I'm just, I'm entertaining this idea that I could potentially try this protocol, adding in more barley greens and spirulina and the other things that you're recommending. The one thing that really prompted me to go to the bioidenticals was because I began to experience more urinary leakage. And so that was like a really big deal for me. And so I'm curious about why that happens, if it's all related to the Epstein-Barr virus. And are you saying that the Epstein-Barr virus never goes away because once we introduce these other aggravating substances into our diet, that the hot flashes and things come back?
Well, the thing is like once we have a viral load, it can be there forever. I don't know if we ever completely kill it. We just push it back. We just diet down. We kill it off. And then like if we're not consistent with our diet, then it can just recur. It can just come back again, right? So that's why it's important to be consistent. The urinary leakage would be a parathyroid issue. And so basically that's a hormonal issue. That's like the hormonal issue, hormonal balance is out of whack. Okay. So that makes sense. I get the bioidentical hormones, we do what we can. I would definitely also just like, add in ashwagandha, and I would also add in like the herbs that I mentioned, nettle leaf tea, and doing, you could even add in the Fab 5, which is from which you can get from like the Dr. Morse, or like what is it called? The I forget what the lab is that makes it, but it's the Fab 5. You can find it online, which is a great herbal formula to add in. But definitely this, like adding in more spirulina, more barley green juice. You could even add in some nascent iodine from Vimergy.com, and like that.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Felicia.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning. Oh my gosh, so informative. Thank you. Because I'm actually going through a bunch of the symptoms that you're saying. And thank goodness I'm doing my cleanse right now. It's been a long time coming. And yeah, so I have a friend who's going through a lot of like stomach pains, and I'm gonna send her this replay, but she seems to think that eggs are good, and I want to know why you are saying like don't go, can you go a little in depth on like why not eggs, because I used to eat a lot of eggs. So
yeah, so well, eggs actually have been used in labs to grow cancer, for research. So it's just an example of like how all the nutrients in eggs is like food for pathogens. It's a soup for pathogens. Long story short.
yeah, because I'm listening to the medical medium and they also say stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to hear your version of it. And thank you to the last person that asked the question about the incontinence, or
Incontinent, or sorry, it's
yeah.
the urinary leakage, she said. Yeah,
That's happening to me this year, and I'm like, what is going on?
So I would just say, like, it's really important, for the parathyroid, it's really important to get deep rest. It's really important to like have a consistent pattern, and also really important just to again reduce the things that are like causing hormonal imbalances, which are fats, like I said. And just to give you an example, like a tablespoon, I think people have heard me say this before on these calls, but like a tablespoon of any kind of oil is 14 grams of fat. A tablespoon of avocado is 1.4 grams of fat. A tablespoon of nuts is 1.4 grams of fat. So it's so much different when you actually are adding oils to your diet than if you're adding just natural foods that actually have healthy fats in them. So, and there's omegas in the super meal from the chia seeds. So it is good to have omegas. We do need our 3, 6, 9, but Mostly our 3s and our 9s. We don't really need the 6s. That's like in soybean oil and stuff. We don't really need those so much, but our body will make everything we need from the 3s. As long as we have 3s, our body makes everything else. Learn that from Dave Sandoval.
Thank you.
Sure. I would also recommend, I think I recommended the B12 and yeah. Hopefully that's helpful. Thanks. Midge, or wait, you came off mute. I didn't know if you needed to ask.
Oh, no. No, I was just say thank you. I sure went through a lot back in my 45 to 55, and I would have loved to have the protocol then.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks for that affirmation.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think we're good. I don't see any other questions. Let me just check the chat really quick. I did a liver flush. I could never eat eggs again. Good for you. For being one of the men on this call. Thanks, Dan. Just want to say that I learned so much, and thank you, Rachel, and all you incredible ladies. Thank you, Dan. So glad, so grateful. So this recording will be available. And you can also ask questions now because this is a support call too. So if you have questions about anything, it doesn't have to be related to menopause, but if you want to, or even the women, it could just be whatever it is. So is there anybody who has, Zaya, go for it.
I guess I don't really have a question, but now from listening to this, I see why when I found this protocol, why I was so exhausted in the migraines and all that, because I had been going through menopause, but I didn't understand all of this stuff. And now listening to this is like, oh my God, it was my menopause that had me so depleted and the migraines coming back. And I'm like, thank God I found this in 2016 and it helped to clear the migraines. It gave me my energy back. And, I can't live without this, but this helps me so much. And now I can give so much more information to other people that I know that are younger and starting to go through this.
I think that we need to create a new name for it and actually just call it what it is, which is Epstein-Barr virus.
Yeah, that
like let menopause have its beauty. Like we need another name for it because the change of life, when people stop having their period, it should be a joyful time of like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to have all this energy. Now I'm going to feel great. Now I'm going to slow down aging. Now I'm not going to go through these fluctuations. This is actually, if you're healthy and you're actually detoxed and nourished, you're not gonna, then menopause will be a joyful time. You won't be going through hot flashes. You won't be going through all these things. So we need to reclaim it. I don't know how we're going to reclaim the word or the concept, but that would be great. Esoterica and then Heather. Esoterica, do you want to come off mute and share?
Yes, I'm in the process of driving. Hey, Miss Rachel.
Hello, love.
Oh shoot, can't hear me.
I hear you. You're good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, love.
My question is, how can I still get all my nutrients without taking so many supplements?
Eat lots of kale. So it's hard to get all of our nutrients because unfortunately the soils are so depleted. And so a lot of us have to, we do need to eat more green foods. But put spirulina on your salads, eat a lot of kale, eat a lot of greens, have broccoli, just make sure that your veggies are like 80% of what you eat, and
okay. Because right now
veggies and fruits, like eat fruits all day as a snack. Be eating apples. Apples are really great for menopause. Apples are amazing. So eat apples all day. Snack on wild blueberries. Put wild blueberries in your fruit. Snack on blueberries. Wild blueberries are blue all the way through the middle. That's why they're special, is because of the blue, right? That anthocyanin. So you cut the wild blueberries in half and they're actually blue on the inside, whereas regular blueberries are not blue on the inside. So you can even get wild blueberry juice. All right. So adding spinach to your diet. Let's see, I actually have a list here. Actually, tahini is good, sesame tahini, avocados, black beans, asparagus, apples, spinach, black grapes, cucumbers, raspberry leaf tea, nettle leaf tea, chased tree berry and elderberry. So, enjoy foods that are highly green, and add in just be like eating lots of seaweed too. Seaweed is great, you know. If you like nori wraps, wrap everything in nori instead of doing a tortilla wrap. Have a nori wrap. If you're going to do a breakfast burrito, make it in a nori wrap. If you're going to do it, if instead of having a burrito, have a wrap that's nori wrapped. How's that sound?
You said a nori wrap?
Yeah, nori is seaweed that they use for sushi. It's the big sheets of seaweed. I eat them like snacks. I just eat that stuff.
Okay, I might have to give that a try. Because
Yeah.
right now I take the amino acids, I take the Super Light formula, the Biomedic, the zinc.
Good.
What else is another? It's another one.
you
It's
drinking
one more. It's
Are you drinking the green drinks?
Yep. Well, I kind of do a little concoction of the vanilla chai and the apple berry together.
Okay, good. Yeah, should have 2 of those a day at least.
But it's the supplements. I'm like, I don't want to take all of these supplements.
What are all the supplements that you're taking? What are all the ones like besides super aminos, which are amazing?
The Super Life formula, zinc, Biomedic, and the cracked cell chlorophyll. Chlorella. I always say that wrong.
Just put it all into your shake.
All of it can go in the shake?
Blend it up. Get that. Yeah, blend it up in a blender.
It's not gonna give it a nasty taste?
A sprinkle. Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on how much you put in, but just take the super aminos. I don't think the super aminos taste that great in a shake. So I would just take the super aminos, but put everything else in the shake.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to try that out.
Yeah, and then tell me, report back.
I will. And this information was good. I'm not going through menopause yet, but this information was good to know.
Yeah, you can look forward to menopause now because you're going to be.
I
know. Thank you. Okay, Heather.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Gosh, I'm like trying to pick which question to ask.
You can ask more than one.
Thanks. The first thing that comes to mind is the mushrooms that are in some of the shakes. Do they contribute to candida at all?
No, they actually help with candida.
Okay, because mushrooms make me very sore, all of them.
So you could be having the die-off from candida, and that's what you're experiencing is the actual die-off.
No, it's not the herx. It's like, even if I don't have candida, I got very sore from them. So I'm just figuring that out. And
there is possibility you could have an allergy. I just want to say some people are generally allergic to things. So
yeah,
I can't say which one that is.
Okay. And do you have any substitutes for barley? Because I can't have barley.
Are you allergic to wheat?
Yes.
Are you allergic to gluten or wheat?
Wheat and gluten.
Okay. So like the barley green juice, like it's harvested before the germ hits, and so therefore it's not gluten. So you don't have gluten in barley. Some people are allergic to wheat, and some people are not allergic to wheat, but they're allergic to gluten. And usually and then usually gluten allergies are more of allergic as more of an allergy. It's not an allergy, it's actually like toxicity of getting that out can help. So yeah, then I would just like focus on spirulina and do that.
Okay, thank you very much.
And I spirulina gets metals out more than chlorella, so I really just like emphasize spirulina.
Yeah, I did a lot of I don't actually had 0 metals in my last test, but I eat a lot of seaweed, so.
Well, maybe that's why.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Sometimes metals don't show up because they can be stuck in places where it's, if you're doing a hair test, it's like your metals are in your liver, things like that. So sometimes metals can be in places that are hidden, especially if people are, who struggle with, autism, like the metal could be trapped in that little that little bridge in the brain that I talked about last week. So yeah, thank you. Hope that's helpful.
Thank you.
Welcome. Tershay? And then Kahina.
Hi, I was just there was an add-on about how we take like the supplements and um I guess I don't think of them as supplements, I think of them as complements and with our meals and then like the what our body needs. And so you had mentioned something about
I like the reframe.
Yeah. Well, it's just looking at what our body needs and not and putting it all in one, because that's what I do. I don't necessarily do good with like a bunch of capsules or tablets or something and being able to like crush it up and almost dissolve it and put it in my drink and drink it. My body accepts it more. Versus some of the solid other options. But you were mentioning the difference between like the super meals and the power shake and how it can help like debloat or work with the belly, the gut. And I always look at mushrooms as a huge superfood. So I add more of them and look at how it's cleansing and clearing and supporting my body, like maybe the detox or purification, because our bodies have been exposed to certain toxicities for so many years that it takes a while for our bodies to readjust, recalibrate when we are truly like putting nutrient dense superfoods and nourishing our bodies to a deeper level on the material realm. So is that do you hear the question about supporting the difference between the super meal and the juice
Yeah.
power shake?
The super meal is definitely more digestible and is better for anybody who has any digestive issues like IBS, SIBO, Crohn's, any of that stuff. It's way more digestible because everything's sprouted. The power shake does not all the quinoa and amaranth and the power shake are not sprouted. So I think that the super meal is actually better. So that's why I promote the super meal.
And so then the power shake is not sprouted, but the super meal is also fermented.
The brown rice protein. So thank you. All right, Kahina, thanks for your question.
Hey, thank you so much for this call. It's been really awesome. And all of the stories shared are just so inspiring. So I wanted to thank you also, Rachel, for introducing me to the medical medium. And I haven't really like dove in to all of his stuff, but I really want to. And I was wondering what book you would recommend. I know that he has one for with like lots of recipes that we can, because I sometimes swing back and forth and can easily go back to old habits and stuff. And I'm not feeling, as on top of my game, but I feel like, yeah.
This is the book I recommend, Cleanse to Heal. You can actually go back in the back and see the protocol. There's actually an herbal protocol specifically for menopause. So you can actually, I'll take a photograph of that and I can share that actual protocol, which includes the herbs and stuff that I mentioned. There's some more things too in there that I didn't mention. And also there's he has an Amazon live cooking show. So you can see lots of great recipes on the cooking show on his Amazon channel. So definitely check that out.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So I have Myra just entered the waiting room. I don't know if Myra is going to have any questions, but let's see. Any other questions here? And I love I wanted to say I love the word complements instead of supplements. And also it is all food, but some people just don't like to take capsules and pills. It's like overwhelming to take so many. So that's why I say just blend it up. But yeah, it is food. It's all food. So yeah, some of this information is based. I gather some of the knowledge from medical medium, and I've seen medical mediums protocols like after I also am a regenerative health practitioner. So obviously I'm bringing in that information, like all the stuff about the hormones breaking down fats. That's all regenerative health comes down from Dr. Morse. And yes. And then Cleanse to Heal is just really packed with all different kinds of recipes. And so that's why I really like this book. It has wonderful, wonderful recipes, and they all go well with the Purium lifestyle protocol. So that's why I like it, because it goes well with the Purium protocol. Okay, no more questions. All right, well, thank you so much. Is it really unflavored? Rain? Yeah, it's unflavored. There's no natural flavors in there, no organic flavor, and it's just slightly sweetened with stevia, which is an herb, right? So thank you for that question. Glad it's been amazing. Love you guys. I hope I answered all the questions, and really appreciate you so much. Thank you for participating. Thank you for sharing your stories and your questions, and have a beautiful day, and we'll make this recording available. Ciao for now.